Loss for this Homestead team, and obviously you hope Coach Parker is okay, but wow, that's some terrible news that we have.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough loss. We're all hoping that he'll be able to recover after some time, and the Homestead morale is still going to be up, at least we hope, and it's definitely a big loss for the Spartans.
Yeah, definitely not how I wanted to start this pregame show, but just had to get it out there, let you guys know. So this will be Parker's last game coaching until he comes back against Noblesville. So got that out of the way. Kind of hard to make a transition from that terrible news. But before we look at some of the girls basketball scores from last night, let's take a look at some of the boys action from last night. We have DeKalb winning 63-59 over the Northside Legends. I think Northside, on the boys, they're definitely much improved. I don't think they've won a game yet. They've given up a lot of points, but the offense is definitely there. We have Warren Central. Yes, Warren Central, the team that won the state championship in boys basketball a couple years ago, playing Bishop Luers. They only won 98-71. It's quite a blowout, but considering Bishop Luers, they were towards the bottom of the conference the past few seasons, to put up 71 points on a very good Warren Central team, even though you do give up 98 points, still pretty impressive. And then Homestead, the Homestead boys picked up a 70-51 win over Warsaw on the road last night.
Yeah, Luke Goody really shined in that one. He scored twice as many points as anybody else scored for the Spartans. He shot 50-50 from the arc. He got 21 points with only 11 shots taken up. The Spartans grabbed 31 rebounds and 22 assists. That helped push their effort. However, they did have a huge issue. They had 22 turnovers for the game, and that's definitely something they'll have to improve on. But for now, they're gonna be focused on the next one after a nice victory against the Tigers.
Yeah, 22 turnovers. I'm not quite sure if that stat is accurate, because I don't think last season Homestead might have had one game turning it over more than 10 times. I think they had less than 5 turnovers against Huntington North. So I'm not sure how accurate those stats are, but then again, neither of us were at the game, so we can't prove it wrong. And yeah, Lou Goody, like you said, 21 points, 7 of 11 from the field. Homestead as a team, they shot 10 of 20 for 50% beyond the arc. Just incredible. They shot 60% overall from the field last night against Warsaw. And I mean, Warsaw, they're not a bad team, but when a team shoots 60% against you, they're hard to beat. So I mentioned Goody, 21. Kruger and Grant Simmons each had 10. Rowdenbush, he was 3 of 3 beyond the arc. He had 9 points. Grinsfelder had 9. Archibald had 4. Barker had 4. And Harmon had 3. So the Homestead boys, they'll be back in action around 7:30 or so tonight, taking on the Marion Giants in their home opener. The Homestead boys home opener, that is, will be on the call, or at least I will be on the call. So that's some of the boys' scores. Only 3 boys SAC teams in action last night. And now looking at some of the girls' basketball, and I'm going to start off with some NE8. It's not, obviously not the SAC, different conference, but we have Norwell winning 45-35 over Huntington North, a team that when Homestead played them a couple weeks ago, Huntington North really shut Homestead down on the offensive end. Sydney Graber had her lowest scoring game of the season. If you didn't join us last night, she put up 23 points against Carroll. So Huntington North able to limit her, but not able to stop Norwell last night.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Homestead game, the Vikings offense was just very sluggish, not able to really get it off. And their defense, just like they were against Homestead, was also pretty good at stopping Norwell. Of course, Norwell isn't on the same level as Homestead, but it was still a solid game for Huntington North. They just couldn't pull out victory.
Yeah, so that was just really the only non-SAC game I wanted to touch on, because Norwell was number 2 in Bounce's power poll. Probably expect them to be number 2 next week. And Huntington North, they're still a good team. I believe they have 3 losses now. But Homestead, Carroll, and Norwell, 3 of the best teams in the area. And now some of the scores from last night. We have Bishop Luers winning 72-8 over Northside. Yes, Northside held to just 8 points last night against a very good Bishop Luers team. You have any reaction on that one?
I mean, it's hard to have a reaction when we just see this over and over and over again from Northside. Their offense, I mean, they have not been able to kick it into second gear at all this season. They had one good game where they were able to put up over 30, but that's been about it. The rest of the games, it seems like almost all of them have been in the single digits for their output. It's been a rough start for Northside, definitely.
Yeah, that one was actually on when we went on the air, so we didn't predict that one, but we both would have taken Luers. And then Northrop and Bishop Dwenger, I thought for sure Dwenger, they lost to Columbia City in their previous game. They were 7-0. They were 7-1 heading into that game, but You picked Northrop, Braden, and of course Northrop knocks off Bishop Dwenger, so our overall record of the games that we picked, you're now a little bit more ahead of me.
Yeah, somehow I'm 16-2. I don't really know how that happened. I was questioning my faith a little bit with the Northrop and Bishop Dwenger game. I've trusted Dwenger for almost all of their games this season, and well, Northrop has only had one game that we've predicted, but I picked Northrop and they were able to pull out a victory against Bishop Dwenger.
Yeah, so Northrop, they had a good start to the season. I think put up 68 points on Leo, but since that point, not including tonight, their scoring went down every single game. The offense was struggling. They scored 25 points in their previous game, not including last night, but good for the Bruins, able to knock off Bishop Dwenger. I think their record was a little bit misleading. They hadn't really played anyone, if I'm correct. They have the 209th toughest schedule in the state in Homestead, and pretty much every other SAC team in the top 100. Homestead, they're something like 34th. But Bishop Dwenger, the second worst strength of schedule in the SAC, behind, I believe, Northside, and we know how they're doing this season. So I think Northrop, a nice win over Bishop Dwenger. The Saints still 7-2 on the season, a good start, but always hurts to lose a conference game. Then the only other game that we picked last night, Southside and Snyder, the Archers able to pick up the 63-37 win in that one.
Yeah, Southside has more of the experience in playing tough competition than Snyder, and Southside's been able to pull out some wins against some tough competition, minus that loss that they took in the first game of the year against Indianapolis Cathedral. So it was going to be a very easy game for the Archers. Nobody really expected Snyder to come out and keep it even relatively close, so it was a very expected score. Snyder definitely got blown out, though, and it's a learning curve for them.
Yeah, so Southside pick up the win, and the other SAC game last night, we have Homestead winning 67-29 over Carroll. I was very surprised by that. I thought Carroll, they'd only lost to the defending state champion in Class 4, Hamilton Southeastern, by 17 points on the road, and then Homestead goes and beats them by almost 40 points at home. So a great performance from the Spartans last night. And it's like I said, only two games we picked last night. I went 1-1 because Bishop Dwenger lost to Northrop by 3. You went 2-0, so like you said, you're 16-2 overall on the season. I'm 13-5. I fell a little bit behind the past few sessions that we've picked games, and we have, looks like, 7 more games that we're going to predict. Homestead they play today against Noblesville, but the next broadcast for girls basketball will be next Friday when they take on Bishop Dwenger, so we're just picking all the games from now until Friday. And the first game we have today, Snyder at Warsaw. Who do you have in that one?
Well, it's definitely going to be a game for Warsaw that they should be able to pull out. We saw Snyder play last night. It wasn't very impressive against the Archers, so I think this is an easy one to go with Warsaw. Snyder offense just isn't going to be able to contend with Warsaw for this one.
Yeah, I also have Warsaw in that one on the schedule. It actually says that was supposed to tip off at 1:30. I can't find a score right now, so maybe the score update that on that one later. And then Carroll at Northridge, the other game on today in the SAC.
Well, after seeing Carroll just absolutely get exposed, all of their weaknesses last night against Homestead, I'm going to have to go with Northridge. You know, Northridge, they were able to put up at least a contest against Homestead. Meanwhile, Carroll, their offense just seemed sluggish. They weren't able to get any shots off, and those that did usually hit the rim or just hit the backboard in a not a very pleasant way, and their defense just couldn't do anything to stop Anaya Patterson in the paint and Graber on the three-point arc, so I'm definitely going to give Northridge this win.
Yeah, I think it's interesting we made this pick before we even saw Carroll last night. I'm still going to stick with the Chargers, even though they have to travel to Northridge. The Northridge, they played Southside close. They played Homestead somewhat close, I believe. It was only an 18-point loss when the Spartans played November 14th against Northridge, and Carroll obviously got killed by Homestead last night. But I don't know. That could be a good game. Northridge not the greatest record, but they've had an incredibly tough schedule. But I'm going to stick with my pick from last night. I'm still going to go with Carroll despite their huge loss. So those are the two games, Carroll, Northridge, Snyder, Warsaw today. And then this coming Tuesday, we have Concordia at DeKalb. Who do you have in that one?
Well, DeKalb hasn't really been able to contend in any of their games, so I'm going to give Concordia this one, even though I've lost a lot of trust for them after their huge blowout against Homestead. That was supposed to be a close game. They started off pretty well in the season, so I think that their record is going to give them, the morale that they need to overcome DeKalb.
Yeah, I think Concordia is going to be able to pick up the win over DeKalb somewhat easily, even though we saw Homestead blow out DeKalb a few weeks ago. In the other game on Tuesday, I guess you could say somewhat evenly matched up teams. We have Northside at New Haven.
Yeah, it's evenly matched, but Northside's offense just cannot do anything right. So I'm going to give New Haven this one, assuming that, they don't have a complete catastrophe on the court.
Yeah, I'm going to take New Haven as well in that one. I think Northside, they're just really struggling this season. I think on their schedule they have at least one somewhat easy win against Canterbury, who's also struggling. But yeah, Northside, they're off to a rough start this season, so I think New Haven going to get the win. And then Wednesday, we have Belmont at Bishop Luers, and what should be a good game. Bishop Luers, one of the best teams in the SAC, and Belmont down from a year ago, but they're still one of the top teams in the NE8.
Yeah, Belmont is a great performing team, and Luers is obviously one of the best in our conference. But Luers, they have a tougher schedule. They play tougher teams up in the SAC, so I'm going to give Luers that one. They have a lot of competition. This one they should be able to pull out and move on to the conference games.
Yeah, I think Luers also going to get the win in that one over Belmont. And then another game Wednesday, Northrop at East Noble.
Well, even though I trust Northrop after they beat Bishop Dwenger, I'm going to go with East Noble. I think they're coming into the game with a little bit of a chip on their shoulders. They're going to host it at home, and I think that's going to give them an advantage. So even though Northrop, to me, is the better team, I think East Noble is going to be able to win.
Yeah, I don't know. After seeing what Northrop did to Bishop Dwenger last night, I can't pick against the Bruins. I think East Noble, they're a middle-level team in the NE8, and Northrop also a middle-level team in the SAC, but I think Northrop going to be able to pull out the win over East Noble in the final game against two teams we've already talked about. We have Warsaw at Carroll this Wednesday.
Well, I still don't trust Carroll after their huge loss to Homestead. I'm going to use the same defense I had for choosing Northridge over Carroll. I'm going to choose Warsaw just because Carroll just really got just slapped in the face by Homestead, and I think their weaknesses were exposed, and other teams are going to use that against them, so I'm going to give the Tigers the win over Carroll.
I'm going to go with Carroll in this game. Warsaw, they got up to a great start in the season, but I believe last I checked they lost something like 4 straight games or something. They've had a tough schedule, but still they're kind of struggling right now. And Carroll, they lost to Homestead by quite a bit last night, a 67-29 loss. We'll talk about that game in just a moment, but I think Carroll, they're going to be able to get the win over Warsaw Wednesday, as we mentioned. Next girls broadcast will be next Friday against Bishop Dwenger. It's on the road. That'll be the first SAC boys-girls doubleheader of this season. So we have the girls taking on Bishop Dwenger, then the boys game to follow that. The girls game tips off at 6 o'clock next Friday. And Homestead played Carroll last night, as I mentioned, in a game that was expected to be close. And that was not the case, as Homestead limited Carroll to 9 first-half points and dominated the entire game. The Spartans picked up the 67-29 win over their rival and improved to 6-0 on the season.
Yeah, it was assumed that these were two of the best teams in the area who were going to slug it out for 4 quarters, but by the first, it was very clear that wouldn't be the case. Carroll simply couldn't stop Patterson and Graber, who combined and gathered 48 points out of the Spartans' 67. Carroll offense just couldn't sink shots for their lives, with only 2 players even breaking the 5-point mark all game long. Similar to the Concordia game, all Carroll could really do was foul the Spartans and try to send them to the line to make them work for their points, but that still didn't gain them any ground, and in fact it lost some, as they lost to Nia Jackson, who fouled out. Overall, it was just very clear who's the better team. It's very clear who should be at the top of the SAC.
Yeah, and last night we talked a bit about one major change coming to the SAC Holiday Tournament this year, which is instead of the coaches seeding the teams, the seeding is determined by Sagarin ratings on John Harrell's website. The ratings were updated this morning, including all the games up to today, so even factoring in Homestead's win over Carroll last night. But even though the Spartans killed Carroll, the Chargers are still second in the rating, only behind Homestead. Maybe the gap between Homestead and the rest of the conference is larger than we expected.
Yeah, this is where the argument for coaches voting comes into place over the computer voting. I don't personally see Carroll as a proven contender in the SAC anymore after they lost to Homestead by such a big margin, and their wins really don't come to many substandard teams, or come to only substandard teams. So I personally, this feels like the computer rankings, almost like the BCS rankings for college football, where it was just like ridiculous teams getting ranked so high because of their record being above all else. So I definitely think that the coaches voting is a much fairer process than what we have right now.
Yeah, in case you're wondering about the rankings, we have Homestead at 1, Carroll at 2, Lures at 3, Southside at 4. The Lures and Southside pretty much the identical rating, so you could really flip-flop those two. Then 5, Concordia, 6, Bishop Dwenger, 7, Northrop, 8, Snyder, 9, Wayne, and 10, Northside. So Homestead the 1 seed in that, and this Noblesville team has a 3-6 record that Homestead will play today, which is somewhat deceiving because all 3 losses are coming to teams ranked in the top 9 in the state. And similar to when Homestead, the Homestead football team played Noblesville in the postseason, the Millers were 1-8 on the season. But because of the quality opponents of Noblesville constantly plays, this could be a very tough matchup for Homestead today. And so Noblesville, I mentioned 3-6. Noblesville went 9-14 a year ago. Have a lot of young talent on the roster. Who are some players to watch out for in this Noblesville team?
Well, one player to definitely watch for is freshman Ashlyn Shade. She leads the team at the backcourt with nearly 17 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and over 3 steals per game. So she's definitely a threat, and she's almost controlling every aspect of shooting. And she's going 33% from outside, 45% from inside, and she's shooting 27 of 38 from the free throw line. So she's definitely the sole player that Homestead needs to focus their defense around, or else she's going to catch fire today and maybe cause some havoc for the Spartans.
Yeah, I think that's a player to watch out for on Noblesville. Their best player, at least in terms of scoring by far, Shade, like you said, averages 16.9 points per game, leads the team in that category. Also leads the team in rebounds with 6 and steals with 3.3. Some other players to watch out for: Caitlin Shoemaker, Abby Haley, Danny Mendez. This Noblesville team, not the greatest record, but I mentioned they have played a lot of good teams, such as Northwestern. They lost 70-51, a 19-point loss to Northwestern, one of the best teams in the state. They also lost to Lawrence North. The first game of the season, 62-39. That was a 23-point loss. So this Noblesville team has definitely played a lot of very good teams this season in Homestead. They've played some good teams as well, such as Carmel. I guess probably the best team they've played so far, Huntington North. You could argue they're the second best team Homestead has played after Homestead only beat them by 12, and then we saw Homestead kill Carmel, Carroll last night. They only beat Carmel by a point opening day. This Noblesville team coming off a 51-32 loss to Hamilton Southeastern, the defending state champions, on Wednesday night. So what are some keys for both teams in this game, Braden?
Well, the key for Noblesville is to do what Carroll couldn't do, and that's just stop the front court of Homestead. If you allow Patterson and everybody else inside the paint to get in there, cause some fouls, earn some points at the stripe, and get in there and get some layups on fast breaks, it's going to be a rough game for you. And Homestead's real thing that they need to watch for is just make sure that they're on Ashlyn Shade and stopping her from getting her usual amount of points per game. And if they can do that, they should be able to win this one. But if Noblesville can stop Patterson, we might see it the other way.
Yeah, it was just crazy how well Patterson played last night. She'd been off for just about 3 weeks. I believe it was 3 weeks and 1 day. November 14th, when Homestead played Northridge, she went down with an injury in the third quarter. Had not played since then, and just played incredible. Put up 25 points, which tied the most points scored by a Homestead player this season. Sydney Graber also hit that mark. She had a good game, put up 19 points in the first half, looked unstoppable in the first and second quarters, but she didn't play a whole lot. The rest of the game wasn't needed as Homestead had such a large lead over Carroll. But good games by Graber and Ayanna Patterson last night in the win over Carroll. And that's going to take us to a break. We're just about set for tip-off, a few minutes away. We're going to take a quick break for the national anthem, and be back with some starters right after this.
Homestead Athletic coverage on the Point 91 FM is brought to you by
Arby's of Coventry, located at 5755 Falls Drive across from Zesto's. Arby's is more than roast beef, with turkey, ham, brisket, bacon, and chicken tenders. Arby's has the meats. Arby's of Coventry is open for breakfast at 6 a.m. all the way to midnight. To find more information, find Arby's on social media and online at arbys.com.
Casa Italian Restaurants, family owned and operated since 1977, with 4 Fort Wayne locations: West Jefferson Boulevard, DuPont Road, Parnell Avenue, and Stellhorn Road. Featuring the Casa Burro salad, wood-burning brick oven pizzas, and over 30 pasta selections. Dine-in or carry-out available, or let Casa cater your next special occasion. Find more information at CasaRestaurants.com or by following Casa on Facebook and Twitter. Casa Italian Restaurants, a proud sponsor of WCYT Sports broadcasts.
Okay, here are 3 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a sport in high school.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages.
And number 3.
High school sports are safer than ever before.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard, next to Dunkin' Donuts Baskin-Robbins. You can contact Moe's by calling 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in southwestern foods like burritos, tacos, and nachos with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead athletic coverage on our station.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more Homestead Lady Spartan basketball right here on the .91 FM.
Welcome back live to Homestead High School. We're getting set for some starting lineups between the number 4 ranked team in Class 4A, Homestead Lady Spartans, who are 6-0 overall on the season, 3-0 in the SAC, coming off a nice win over their rival, the Carroll Chargers, 67-29 last night. Anna Patterson had 25 points. Sydney Graber had 23 points. Outside of those two, no one else really able to contribute much, but didn't matter a whole ton as Homestead. They dominated Carroll from the start, held them to just 9 points in the first half. Then Carroll put up 10 points in each third and fourth quarter to make the score look a little bit more respectable, but still had held under 30 points for the first time, I believe, in 23 games. So let's get into the home team, Homestead Spartans, starting lineup. At the point guard, it'll be Grace Sullivan, the 5'6" junior, averages 6.2 points per game, leads a team with 6.4 assists per game, also leads a team in 2.2 turnovers per game, shoots about 46% from the field on the season. The other guard, the 5'7" senior, Riley Parker, will be playing the shooting guard position, averages 14 points per game, leads a team with 2.4 steals per game. I believe she didn't score last night, but didn't really take a whole lot of shots as Graber and Patterson pretty much dominated the net. The forward position, as I just mentioned, Sydney Graber, the 6' senior, committed to play basketball at Central Michigan, averages 19.4 points per game, which leads the team, 9 rebounds per game, averages 2.2 steals per game as well. Shoots about 45% from the field, about 74% from the line, her season high, 25 points against Wayne. She put up 23 last night. In the starters for Noblesville, it'll be Brooklyn Ely, the 5'4" freshman guard, averages 3.4 points per game. Ashlyn Shade, the team's leading scorer, just under 17 points a game. Abby Haley leads the team in assists and turnovers. Mallory Miller averages just under 9 points per game. And Emily Wood rounding out the starting 5. The 5'10" junior forward averages 3.4 points per game. We're ready for tip-off between Homestead and Noblesville in a matchup. In girls high school basketball, it'll be Patterson and Shade to jump. Homestead and Noblesville should be a good matchup. Noblesville 3-6 on the season, but all their losses coming to very good teams. They play a lot of Indy area teams, some of the best in the state. And the ball is controlled, knocked away by Patterson, and Sullivan has it. Bounce pass to Parker across the timeline. Homestead with the first offensive possession of the game. Austin in the left corner for Graber. Cross-court pass to a wide-open Parker for three to start the game. It rattles in as Riley Parker did not score last night, but hits a three to start the game. Good start for her in this Homestead offense. Now Noblesville with their first possession on the offensive end. The ball in Wood's hands. Hands it over to Haley, now to Miller on the left side, guarded by Graber. Stolen away by Graber. First steal of the game, a turnover on Noblesville. Sullivan crosses the timeline for the Spartans to Patterson underneath the basket. Over to Graber, left quarter, wide open three, that's no good. Defensive rebound goes to Noblesville. Homestead leads 3-0, 7:11 to go in the first quarter. It'll be Miller who passes out left corner for Wood. Over to Haley, now top of the key for Shade, the team's leading scorer. Now on the right side for Ely. It's 3-0 Homestead, 7 minutes to go in the first quarter between the Spartans and Noblesville Millers. Noblesville on offense. Miller drives in on the right baseline. Back to Miller, takes a deep two-point shot. Is no good. Rebound fought for and recovered by Amber Austin for the Spartans. Sullivan has it now. Gets across the timeline. Double teamed. Ball knocked across half court. They say it was deflected, and Noblesville some tough defense early on. And a turnover on Austin, throws it to Miller for the Millers. Miller drives in, rejected by Austin, but a foul is called. So it looks like that foul will be going against Amber Austin as Homestead leads 3-0, 6:28 to go in the first quarter over Noblesville.
Yeah, and so far Noblesville is playing very aggressive offense, and you saw that right there as they forced a foul.
So that was a foul called on Amber Austin, her first personal. The team's first is Mallory Miller knocks down the free throw, the 5'6" junior guard for Noblesville. It's now 3-1. Now 3-2. She made both. 3-2 Homestead, 6:28 to go in the first quarter. It'll be Homestead on offense. Sullivan with the ball in her hands. And it looks like an offensive foul going against Homestead. Amber Austin, that's her second personal. Not even 2 minutes into the game, she already picks up 2 personal fouls. Megan Yoder said to check in for Amber Austin, who's in some foul trouble right away. Not good for this Homestead defense. Amber Austin had 8 blocks against Huntington North a couple Tuesdays ago. Huntington North on offense, they trail by a point. It's 3-2, 6:16 to go in the first quarter. Miller with the ball in her hands, gives it to Shade at the top of the key. Over to Haley now. A three by Shade, that's no good. Sullivan gets the rebound off the back of the iron. Crosses the timeline. Noblesville some tough defense early on. Graber at the free throw line is fouled. So Homestead 2 team fouls, Noblesville 1 team foul. That was on Ashlyn Shade, the team's best player. If you're Noblesville, you want any chance to win. She cannot get in foul trouble, Ashlyn Shade. It'll still be Homestead ball underneath their own basket. Sullivan inbounds to Graber at the top of the key. Graber put up 19 in the first half last night and lays it in right there. Good move by Sydney Graber, her first basket of the game. Homestead leads now 5-2, 5:48 to go in the first quarter. Underneath the basket, Noblesville loses it, a turnover on the Millers. Riley Parker with 3, and Sydney Graber with 2 for the Spartans, as Mallory Miller has 2 for Noblesville. It's 5-2 Homestead, 5:44 to go in the first quarter. Homestead in the full court taking it up. Sullivan over to Parker in the right corner. Back to Sullivan, drives inside, kick out to Yoder. Graber, left corner 3. It's good. Actually, it's no good. And the offensive rebound goes to Noblesville. And the Millers take it up the court now. It's Haley who passes over to Miller on the right side. Layup is good, so Noblesville makes it a 1-point game. It's 5-4 Homestead, 5:14 to go in the first quarter. Shot was good by Mallory Miller, so she is now all 4 points for Noblesville. Yoder passes to Patterson, has not scored yet. Ball on the ground, gets it over to Sullivan now on the right side. And a player falls down for Noblesville, and they call a foul on that Noblesville player. It looks like that foul will be going against Mallory Miller, the player for Noblesville who has all the team's points so far. It's 5-4 Homestead, 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Graber to inbound on the sideline. Gets it into Sullivan. Homestead has 5 points. About 3 minutes of action. The clock has not started. Few seconds went off in real time, but the game clock did not start. They put 4:57 on the clock. Homestead will inbound again. 5-4 Homestead, 4:56 to go in the opening quarter. Spartans on offense. Yoder now has it at the Spartan logo knocked away. A turnover, and Shade has it. Layup under the basket. It's good. Noblesville takes the lead. It's 5-6. Homestead down. Parker in the left corner to Patterson in the paint. Puts up a shot and loses a ball. Puts up another shot, and she is fouled. So Patterson going to the line to shoot a couple. Nice move by Ashlyn Shade for Noblesville. The previous possession. The team's leading scorer just going there is that foul was against Emily Wood, her first personal of the game. Patterson to the line for 2 for Homestead. First free throw, it's no good. A little bit short off the front of the rim. It's 6-5 Noblesville. 4:34 to go in the first quarter. Patterson missed the first, her second on the way. And that's no good either. But Graber gets the offensive rebound, throws up a shot. It's good and one. So Patterson goes 0-2 at the line, but Graber, the offensive rebound, puts it right back up, gets it to go, and the foul. So potential three-point play. And that was Ashlyn Shade's second personal foul. So Noblesville in a bit of foul trouble early. The team's leading scorer just averages under 17 points a game. Already has 2 personal fouls. Graber's chance for an and one is good. So Sydney Graber makes a free throw. She now has 5 points in this game for the Spartans. Scored 19 in the first half. 23 for the game last night in the win against Carroll. Noblesville now down by 2. 4:21 to go in the first quarter. 8-6 Homestead. Miller on the left side beyond the arc. Passes to Wood. It's knocked away, stolen by Graber, and Homestead has it. Sullivan now gets it across half court. Bounce pass to Yoder to Patterson. Over to Parker. Drives baseline. Puts up a shot. That's no good. Patterson, the offensive rebound, puts up another shot, and it's good. So Patterson, with her first points of the game, had 25 points last night against Carroll. Her first basket. It's 10-6 Homestead. 3:52 to go in the first quarter. Noblesville back on offense, looking to respond to Homestead on a quick 5-0 run. 3 by Shade. That's no good. Off the back of the iron, just rolled off. Rebound goes to Homestead. Yoder gives it off to Sullivan, who drives free throw line, deflected out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Homestead Spartans. And it looks like Danny Mendez, the team's leading blocker, checks in as Brooklyn Ely checks out. For the Millers, it'll be Homestead ball underneath their own basket. It's 10-6 Spartans, 3:31 to go in the first quarter. Sullivan can't find anyone, gets it into Patterson. And Sullivan now in the left corner. Falls down, gets it over to Parker. Now Yoder has it, the Spartan logo. Homestead leads 10-6. Clock is not stopped. It was stopped for a few more seconds. It's going now. Parker, a 3 in the right corner. In and out. Rebound goes to Noblesville. 10-6 Homestead, 3:19 to go in the first quarter. Shade drives in baseline, picks up a dribble, bounce pass to a wide open teammate. Hits the net underneath the basket, doesn't go in. Shot is no good, and gets the offensive rebound. Puts the shot back up. That's also no good. But a foul was called, so she'll be going to the line for a couple. Reminded me somewhat of that James Harden play from a few days ago when that dunk hit the net, underneath the net, but the shot was no good. And Mendez at the line for 2 for Noblesville. They trail by 4. Now trail by 3. First free throw was good for Mendez coming off the bench. 10-7 Homestead, 3:09 to go in the first quarter. Second free throw is also good. So 2 of 2 at the line for Danny Mendez for Noblesville. It's now 10-8 Homestead, 3:09 to go in the first quarter. Sullivan takes it up the court once again for the Spartans, the junior guard. Noblesville playing some good defense early on. And a close one. Looks like some sort of zone defense. And a steal goes to Noblesville. Shade wants to push it, gets it over to Wood. The left side back to Shade. Top of the key now for Haley. Gets it right side for Miller. Throws it down, though. It's stolen by Patterson. The Spartans have it. Patterson wants to push in transition. Puts up a shot. And it's no good. She draws the foul. She'll go to the line for a couple more. Was 0-2 in her previous trip. Homestead leads 10-8, 2:36 to go in the first quarter. And that foul was committed on Emily Wood, her second personal foul of the game. Ashland Shade, the team's leading scorer, also has 2 personal fouls. Patterson the line for 2. First one, that's good. So Patterson now 1 of 3 at the line. Molly Stock checks in for Megan Yoder for Homestead. So Patterson now with 3 points. Sydney Graber has 5. Parker has 3 for Homestead. And Patterson, second free throw. The star sophomore at the line. And the second is good. So 2 of 2 there. Now 2 of 4 at the line overall in the game for Patterson. She has 4 points. Homestead leads 12-8, 2:31 to go in the first quarter. Mendez has it on the right side. Foul called down low against Homestead. Looks that's going against Riley Parker, her first personal foul. And it looks like the team's 4th. It'll be Noblesville ball underneath their own basket. Haley can't find anyone. Eventually gets it into a wide open Miller. Takes a 3. That's good. She drained it. It's now a 1-point game. 12-11. Homestead, 2:21 to go in the first quarter. Homestead back on offense. Sullivan with it for the Spartans. They lead by a point. Stock over to Graber. Fakes a 3. Drives baseline. Puts up a shot. Draws the foul. Shot was no good. This is what Homestead's so good at, drawing a lot of fouls underneath the basket. Going to the line a ton. That foul was on Ashland Shade. She now has 3 personal fouls in the first quarter. If Noblesville wants any chance to beat Homestead, that's their star player, averages just under 17 points a game. It's a tough loss for Noblesville. It's probably going to come out, and Graber's first free throw was good, and Shade does take a seat on the bench. That's a huge loss for the Millers, so Graber now a 6 for the Spartans, knocked down the first free throw. It's 13-11 Homestead, 2:09 to go in the first quarter. Graber's second free throw, that's no good. Offensive rebound goes to Patterson for Homestead, puts up a shot, rolls around to the rim, no good. And a foul called on Homestead. It'll be only Ayanna Patterson, only her first personal foul for the team's 5th.
And what you were saying about Shade going out so early, you can't have that happen because we've seen so many Homestead games almost finished, it seems like, in the first quarter. So having her go out so early to the foul trouble is something that you don't want to see if you're a Millers fan.
Yeah, Homestead able to have a large lead over Carroll in the first quarter, and Chargers never able to come back. Homestead won 67-29 last night over Carroll. Noblesville's not played since Wednesday night against Hamilton Southeastern. But the Millers on offense now, they trail by 2. As Miller drives in, layup is good. She ties the game. It's 13-13, 1:39 to go in the first quarter. Mallory Miller with a nice move there. For Noblesville, looks like she has 9 points now. Cross-court pass to Parker on the right side. Over to Patterson in the free throw area. Graber faked the left corner 3, drives baseline, is hit. Foul going against Noblesville once again. Sydney Graber able to draw another foul. That'll be the 7th team foul. That's 7th team foul for Noblesville. First personal foul for Danny Mendez for Noblesville. So actually Graber now at the line, 1-1. A lot of fouls, 12 combined fouls between these teams in the first quarter. So Graber has 6 points in this one, put up 19 in the first half. Finished with 23 last night. Front end of a 1-1, no good. And the rebound goes to Noblesville. It's tied 13-13, 1:17 to go in the first quarter. Miller with it on the right side, passes down low to Haley. Puts up a shot and was hit by Molly Stock. So Stock picks up the personal foul, and Noblesville will be going to the line for 2.
So far, that's something we've seen a lot. Both these teams are just drawing fouls over and over again. 13 fouls in 1 quarter is definitely an odd stat. You don't see that very often, but they're getting to the free throw line.
First free throw is good by Abby Haley. It was her first point of the game. So Stock checks out for Kinsley. Put up 7 points, tied a career high last night against Carroll. Second free throw is good for Noblesville. Haley knocks down both. Now Homestead, they find themselves trailing by 2, 15-13. 1:05 to go in the first quarter. Bit of a high-scoring first quarter. This Homestead defense held Carroll to 9 points in the first half, already given up 15 in the first quarter. Graber, a 3, bounces off the back of the iron. Rebound goes to Noblesville. It'll be Haley. Crosses the timeline. Now on the right side for Mendez. 45 seconds to go in the opening quarter. And Sullivan with the steal for the Spartans. puts up a shot. It's good. Grace Sullivan with her first points of the game. She didn't score last night. It's her first basket in quite a while. It's now 15-15, 29 seconds to go in the first quarter. Noblesville holding for the final possession. 20 seconds to go now. Haley has it on the right side. Passes off to Miller now in the right quarter. Down to Mendez. Atop the key three for Haley. It's good. Noblesville put up 18 points already in this first quarter on Homestead. It's 18-15 Noblesville. 6 seconds to go. Graber, a three, the left side. That's in and out. Kinsley the rebound, throws up a shot at the buzzer, and it's no good. And now let's send it to Ashton Hackman, who's on the sideline with Homestead head coach Rod Parker.
Thank you, Matt. I'm joined with head coach Rod Parker. And coach, your team coming off with a great win last night against the Chargers, 67-29. Right now, you're trailing the Noblesville Millers 18-15. What do you guys got to do for the next quarter?
We got to pass the basketball. We're not doing a very good job on offense at all, being efficient. It's sluggish and it's slow. We're going to have to trust each other.
All right, thank you, Matt. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashton. So Homestead, they find themselves trailing 18-15. You don't see them trailing a lot, but a high-scoring first quarter. What are your takeaways so far, Braden?
Well, so far, I mean, Coach Parker is absolutely right. They just need to pass the ball around. They're just having a lot of errors going on offense. It just seems like all of their shots either are turning into fouls and they're not able to put them up, or they just are missing them. And then the Homestead defense has not been able to stop Noblesville for most of the game. It seems Mallory Miller is just putting up shots over and over again. She has 1 3-pointer. Abby Haley's also putting up some nice points. She has 5 so far. It's definitely been an odd game, but if you're a Spartans fan, we haven't seen this very often where Homestead is down heading into the second quarter.
Yeah, you really don't see that a whole lot. Homestead, they just blew out Carroll from the start last night. Mentioned held them to 9 points in the first half. Gave up 29 for the game, already given up 18 in the first quarter. Noblesville 3-6 on the season. Carroll was 6-1 heading into last night. It's not about the record, it's the quality of opponents that you have played. And this Noblesville team has played some of the best. Lawrence North, Northwestern, Hamilton Southeastern. 3 of the best teams in the state. They didn't win any of those games, but just playing good teams matters, and knocked away by Patterson. It'll be Homestead ball. They trail 18-15, 7:46 to go in the second quarter. Homestead, they trail by 3. Sullivan takes it up the court for the Spartans on the left side. Over to Parker, now Kinsley in the right corner, back to Parker. Sullivan, bounce pass to Graber, top of the free throw line, puts up a shot, rolls off the front of the rim. Patterson, the offensive rebound shot is no good. Foul called against Noblesville. Looks like that was against Danny Mendez, her second personal foul. So both teams, and I guess more Noblesville in foul trouble. Their team's leading scorer, Ashlyn Shade, on the bench. 3 personal fouls. Patterson's first free throw was good. She now has 5 points. Sydney Graber had 6 in the first quarter. Riley Parker with 3, and Grace Sullivan has 2. Patterson, free throw, no good. Second, no good. And it looks like a jump ball is called. It'll stay with the Homestead Spartans. They trail by 2. 18-16, 7:26 to go in the second quarter. And inbound goes to Sullivan for the Spartans. It's Homestead down by 2, 7:19 to go in the second quarter. Patterson catches the ball, pass to Kinsley down low. Kinsley bounce pass to Graber, puts up a shot. It's good. It's tied. 18-18 all. 7:07 to go in the second quarter. So Sydney Graber now with 8 points for the Spartans. And a timeout is called by Donna Buckley, head coach in Noblesville in her 12th year at the school, 20th year overall. Won 2 sectional championships, most recently coming in 2015 at Noblesville. And Homestead able to tie it up. They trailed after the first quarter, but like I said, it's tied 18-18 now.
Yeah, for that first minute, Noblesville, it looked like they were just not at the same pace that they were for that first quarter. So I agree on calling a timeout, getting your team together, making sure that you can keep the morale and keep the advantage that you had in the first quarter.
Yeah, so Noblesville playing well early on, hitting some shots. I think it just shows, like I mentioned, Noblesville, they're 3-6 coming into this game. In Carroll, they were 6-1. It's all about the quality of opponents that you play. Noblesville went 9-14 a season ago. That all those 14 losses coming to top 40 teams or so in the state. This Noblesville team lost their 2 leading scorers to graduation, about 30 combined points last season. Now their leading scorer is a freshman foul going against Homestead, coming off that timeout. Noblesville on offense. Foul was on Kinsley. That was her first for Homestead. The team 7, so 1-1. Coming for Noblesville, it'll be Abby Haley at the line, who has 5 points for the Millers. 1-1 is good, knocks down first, so she'll get a second attempt. Noblesville back up by a point. It's been back and forth pretty much the entire way. Haley, second, is also good. So Noblesville knocking down their free throws. Homestead, they missed a few in this one. The Spartans on offense. Sullivan now takes it across half court. Gets it to Graber, takes a 3 in the left corner. Bounces up and no good. And the rebound is on the ground. Another jump ball called, so it'll be going to Noblesville. And it is Noblesville who leads 20-18, 6:41 to go in the second quarter. This is a much different first half compared to last night when Homestead dominated Carroll. The Spartans find themselves trailing by 2. And some players collide for Homestead on the other end. Graber and Patterson collided. Homestead, they trail by 2, 20-18, 6:31 to go in the second quarter. And Graber's on the ground for the Spartans. She gets up now. This Noblesville defense, they are very, very good. They're limiting Homestead a lot. So it looks like Graber able to walk it off. Looks like she's fine. So Homestead, they will get the ball. But it looks like Graber will still come out of the game. So Amber Austin checks back in. She has 2 personal fouls, so she's in a bit of foul trouble herself. Noblesville's leading scorer on the season, just about 17 points per game. Has 3 personal fouls, but she's out on the court right now. So Homestead ball. They trail by 2, 6.5 to go in the first half. Patterson in the left corner. Back to Sullivan, top of the key. Over to Parker on the right side, back to Sullivan. Noblesville, some sort of zone defense. And it's working so far. Kinsley thought about the 3. Passes back to Parker, over to Sullivan now. Spartans trail by 2, 6:10 to go in the second quarter. Over to Patterson in the left corner. We saw her hit a 3 yesterday, first of the season. Sullivan drives in. She's rejected. Ball eventually goes to Noblesville. They want to push it in transition. Cross-court pass for Miller in the left corner. Drives in the free throw line. Rejected by Amber Austin. And she's rejected again by Amber Austin. What a defensive play by Amber Austin right there for the Spartans. They now have the ball. They trail 20-18, 5:42 to go in the second quarter. Homestead looking to take the lead or tie it on this possession. Parker to Sullivan, top the key. Fine, bounce pass to Kinsley, back to Sullivan. Drives inside, over to Parker in the right corner. Thought about the 3, and a travel is called against Riley Parker for the Spartans, who has 3 points in this one. Homestead, they still trail 20-18, 5:25 to go in the second quarter, and Graber checks back in. So nice to see that she's all right. After colliding with a teammate a few minutes ago, she's back in the game. So it looks like all the starters out on the court for the Spartans right now. They trail by 2, but Noblesville has the ball on the offensive end. A 3 that was by Miller is no good. Rebound goes to the Spartans. 4 home, so they trail by 2. Neither team has scored in a little while. Down to 5:08 to go in the second quarter. It's 20-18 Noblesville. Parker top the key, over to Sullivan. And Coach Parker yelling out to call some sort of offensive play. Graber over to Sullivan. This Noblesville defense really tough. The Spartans have to earn every basket they've had so far. Much different than Carroll. Parker left corner 3. That's no good. And the rebound is on the ground. Patterson had it. Another jump ball. It's the third one, I believe, this quarter. It'll go to Homestead now. It's still 20-18 Noblesville, 4:40 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, we're seeing that jump ball. Obviously, it's a very tense game. Homestead knows that they're behind and they have to get back into the limelight.
Graber on the right baseline now takes it back out to the right corner, calls out a play over to Sullivan. This Noblesville defense very tough compared to Carroll. Sullivan passes to Patterson, double teamed underneath the basket, puts up a shot, no good. And the rebound goes to Noblesville. Looks like a foul going against the star sophomore Ayanna Patterson, her second game back. Played last night against Carroll. 25 points, a great performance, but Noblesville, I think, is a lot better than Carroll as Patterson picks up her second personal foul and Homestead their 8th team foul. Amber Austin has 2 personal fouls as well. Looks like Megan Yoder set a check in for Patterson. And Ashlyn Shade, Noblesville's leading scorer on the season, 17 points per game, has 3 personal fouls out there on the court right now. She only has 2 points. So Homestead doing a good job limiting her, but she was at the line, missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and the Spartans get the rebound. Graber has it, crosses the top line over to Parker down in the left corner, bounce pass to Amber Austin, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Homestead. It's still 20-18, 4:15 to go in the second quarter, so both defenses picking up. No one has scored in a couple minutes. It'll be Homestead ball underneath their own basket. Sullivan set to inbound, finds Graber in the left corner. Graber drives baseline, a nice move, puts up a shot, and is good. Sydney Graber scores for the Spartans, ties it up, 20-20, 4:05 to go in the second quarter. And Graber now with 10 points for the Spartans, had 19 in the first half. Last night, 23 for the game, already 10 of the team's 20 points. Noblesville on offense. Wood, ball's knocked away on the ground. A couple players hit the ground, and Noblesville somehow recovers it. It's been a very physical and intense game so far. A 3 by Miller, that's no good. Homestead gets the rebound. Graber passes over to Sullivan. 3:37 to go in the second quarter. It's tied at 20. Parker over to Sullivan now at the top of the key. Parker in the right corner, bounce pass. Amber Austin, baseline, puts up a shot. It's good. Amber Austin scores again for the Spartans. Actually, that was their first basket of the game, has 2 personal fouls. And Noblesville now trail by 2, but a air ball by the Millers. That was Eli. And it looks like a foul going against the Spartans. That foul was on Amber Austin. That's her 3rd personal foul. So Amber Austin, she may need to come out of the game soon.
Yes.
So 2 players with 3 fouls. Amber Austin and Ashlyn Shade for Noblesville, the team's leading scorer. And it is Wood who's at the line for the Millers as Kinsley said to check in. Likely for Amber Austin, the free throw way off. It's saved, but it goes to Homestead. They lead by 2 now. Graber wants to push it in the paint, puts up a shot, doesn't get the foul call, and it goes out of bounds. It'll go to Noblesville as Kinsley checks in for the Spartans for Amber Austin. It's 22-20 Homestead, 3:02 to go in the second quarter. Allison Stevens set to check in for Sydney Graber. It'll be Noblesville ball. They trail by 2 now. They haven't scored in a little while. Homestead's defense picking up. 22-20 Homestead, 2:55 to go in the second quarter. And it's Haley puts up a shot underneath the basket, way off. Rebound goes to Eli, the 3-pointer. That's no good. And the rebound still on the ground. Eventually Yoder gets it for Homestead. Very intense game so far. Both defenses playing well. Yoder now on the right side, back to Sullivan, over to Kinsley. Thought about the 3, but didn't take it. Back to Sullivan, drives inside, bounce pass to Stevens, down low. Shot is good, and 1. Allison Stevens just came into the game and already making an impact. She has 2 and a chance for her 3rd point of the game. And the foul was on Emily Wood for Noblesville, so she has 3. She has to come out of the game. So a lot of players in foul trouble for both teams. It's now 24-20 Homestead. 2:26 to go in the second quarter. Stevens complete the and 1 is good. So Stevens, a nice play after just coming into the game. She has 3. The freshman. Noblesville now trail by 5. 7-0 run for the Spartans. 2:18 to go in the second quarter. Homestead leads 25-20. Noblesville on offense. Ely has it on the left side. Top of the key now for Haley. Right side for Ely. Noblesville trail by 5. Pass to Mendez down low. A spinning shot is no good and saved by Yoder for the Spartans. Homestead has it, but knocked out of bounds. It'll still go to Homestead. They lead by 5. They trailed by 3 heading into the second quarter. Now lead by 5. It's 1:55 to go in the first half. Sullivan takes it up the court for the Spartans. Noblesville playing a zone defense. It's like a 1-2-2 in the full court. Spartans get it across the timeline. Sullivan drives in, now takes it back out to Yoder. To Parker now in the left corner. Bounce pass to Yoder. To Kinsley. To Sullivan now. Sullivan over to Yoder. A three. In and out. Nearly went down, but the rebound goes to Noblesville. Looking to add some more points. They're down by 5 right now to Homestead. It'll be Shade at the top of the key, who has 3 personal fouls. The team's leading scorer. Hands it off to Ely. Back to Miller. Pass down low to Miller. A 3. Left corner for Ely. That's an air ball. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Noblesville. They trail 25-20. 1:06 to go in the second quarter.
Man, both these defenses are just so aggressive today. We're seeing a lot of fouls, and we're seeing a lot of jump balls. It's just been a very, very defensive struggle, and that's why we see such a low-scoring game, 25-20.
Noblesville gets it in. Mendez has it to Shade. Back to Mendez. Top of the key. They trail by 5. Under a minute to go in the first half. It's been a back-and-forth game pretty much the entire way. Noblesville led 18-15 after 1. And the Millers have the ball, maybe looking for the final shot of the second quarter. Down to 43 seconds. Mendez underneath the basket. Hook shot. Draws the foul. She'll go to the line for a couple. Let's see who they call the foul on. Looks like it'll be on Kinsley. That'll be her second personal foul. So Mendez at the line for 2 for Noblesville. They trail by 5. Now trail by 4. First free throw good by Mendez. Has 3 in the game for Noblesville. It's 25-21. Now 25-22. 40 seconds to go in the first half. Homestead ball. Mendez now with 4 for Noblesville. Yoder gets it across half court over to Parker as the ball is deflected and stolen away by the Millers. Have a chance to tie it up on this possession. 24 seconds to go before halftime, and you think now they're definitely probably going to wait for the final shot. Chance to tie it. 25-22 Homestead, 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. A 3, top of the key for Ely. It's off the back of the iron. Sullivan has a chance to push it for the Spartans. 2-1, Sullivan puts up a shot. At the buzzer, it's no good. So at the end of the first half, Homestead, it's 25-22. The Spartans lead. A great first half for both teams. And let's send it over to Ashton Hackman, who's with Coach Parker.
Thank you, Matt. I'm joined once again with head coach Rod Parker. And, Coach, your offense was down the entire second quarter, but now you guys are leading by 3. What adjustments have been made?
Well, we're just trying to move the basketball a little bit better, and if we can share it, we'll get good shots. It's that simple. It's simple basketball, and we got to do a better job of it.
All right, thank you. Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Ashton. So Homestead, they trailed by 3 after the first quarter. Now they lead by 3 heading into halftime. And so far, what are your takeaways in this first half? Braden has been back and forth.
Well, so far it's not really a case of Homestead playing bad basketball. It's mainly just a case of both teams playing incredible defense. They're very aggressive, and you can see that as Noblesville has 2 players already at 3 fouls and 1 at 2 fouls, and Homestead has 1 player at 3 fouls, 2 players at 2. So both teams are just getting very aggressive and forcing each other to just go to the foul line and try and make some shots and earn them. And the score is very low because both teams are also having trouble hitting those free throw shots. As we saw earlier with Patterson, she missed her first 2. And it's just been a very close game, very head-to-head, and I hope that we can see it as we continue into the second half.
Yeah, this reminds me somewhat of the Carmel game, the season opening game for Homestead. It was back and forth the entire way. Homestead ended up getting the 1-point win over the Greyhounds. This one has been pretty close as well. Huntington North, I guess that was kind of close. Homestead led by 1 after the first quarter, but eventually pulled away to win that one by 12. But right now, Homestead leads 25-22 at half, and that's going to take us to a quick break. We're about 8.5 minutes or so away from the start of the second half. You're listening to Homestead Ladies Spartan Basketball on the Point 91 FM.
Homestead Athletic coverage on the Point 91 FM is brought to you by
Arby's at Coventry, located at 5755 Falls Drive across from Zestos. Arby's is more than roast beef, with turkey, ham, brisket, bacon, and chicken tenders. Arby's has the meats. Arby's at Coventry is open for breakfast at 6 a.m. all the way to midnight. To find more information, find Arby's on social media and online at arbys.com.
Casa Italian Restaurants, family owned and operated since 1977, with 4 Fort Wayne locations: West Jefferson Boulevard, DuPont Road, Parnell Avenue, and Stellhorn Road. Featuring the Casa Burro salad, wood-burning brick oven pizzas, and over 30 pasta selections. Dine-in or carry-out available, or let Casa cater your next special occasion. Find more information at CasaRestaurants.com or by following Casa on Facebook and Twitter. Casa Italian Restaurants, a proud sponsor of WCYT Sports broadcasts.
Okay, here are 3 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a sport in high school.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages.
And number 3.
High school sports are safer than ever before.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard, next to Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin-Robbins. You can contact Moe's by calling 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in Southwestern foods like burritos, tacos, and nachos with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead athletic coverage on our station.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry-out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more Homestead Lady Spartan basketball right here on the .91 FM.
Welcome back live to Homestead High School. We're currently at halftime between the Homestead Lady Spartans and the Noblesville Millers. I'm Matt Salfrank alongside Braden Carroll and Ashton Hackman. Joined us on the sideline at the end of the first and second quarters. And right now, Homestead, they lead 25-22. At half. We're about 5 minutes or so away from the start of the second half. And you look at Noblesville, a team with a 3-6 record. Homestead 6-0 on the season, unbeaten, coming off a huge win over Carroll last night, who only had 1 loss heading into that game. But like I said multiple times, it's about who you played, and this Noblesville team played some of the best teams. They played HSC, Hamilton Southeastern, on Wednesday night, only lost by 19 points. May seem like a lot, but they're a very good team. So right now, Homestead in a tough battle. In Braden, there's been quite a first half. So who would you say your player of the half was for the first half?
I'd say it's Sydney Graber. She has 10 points so far. She's really leading the Homestead offense in a game that's been defined by defense. In second place, or for Noblesville, I would give it to Mallory Miller. She's just been able to also lead the Noblesville offense when it comes to this defensive game. She's been able to hit some shots from mid-range and inside and pretty much everywhere on the court. So those two are my half players of the first half.
All right, and we have a score update for you. Carroll was playing Northridge. They lead 14-11 at the end of the first quarter. I'm not really surprised by that. I expect Carroll to pick up the win, and let's send it over to Ashton Hackman, who's with a special guest on the sideline.
All right, thank you, Matt. I'm joined with Luke Goody. Luke, you had a great game last night. You guys are going to be playing later against Marion. What are you looking forward to?
This is obviously our first home game of the year, and we're actually 2-0 right now, so we're having a good season, and we're just looking forward to playing in front of our fans and having a fun night tonight.
Expect a win?
obviously, every time we play out on the court, we expect to win.
All right, thank you. Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Ashton. That was Luke Goody. As he mentioned, the boys basketball team will play later tonight against the Marion Giants. What should be a pretty good game. Marion, I believe they've lost a couple times to start the season, but still have a very good player in Jalen Blackman. That one will be later tonight around 7:30, but we got a close one right now between Homestead and Noblesville. It's 25-22. The Spartans lead Sydney Graber 10 points in the first half. I mentioned she had 19 points in the first half against Carroll, 23 for the game. Ayanna Patterson, and her second game back, hasn't been as explosive, but this Noblesville team really limiting her on the defensive end. And we're going to take one last break. We're just about 2 minutes or so away from the start of the third quarter.
Homestead Athletic coverage on the Point 91 FM is brought to you by
Arby's of Coventry, located at 5755 Falls Drive across from Zesto's. Arby's is more than roast beef, with turkey, ham, brisket, bacon, and chicken tenders. Arby's has the meats. Arby's of Coventry is open for breakfast at 6 a.m. all the way to midnight. To find more information, find Arby's on social media and online at arbys.com.
Casa Italian Restaurants, with 4 Fort Wayne locations: West Jefferson Boulevard, DuPont Road, Parnell Avenue, and Stellhorn Road. Featuring Fort Wayne's famous Casa Burro salad, wood-burning brick oven pizzas, and over 30 pasta selections. Dine-in or carry-out available, or let Casa cater your next special occasion. Online at CasaRestaurants.com. Follow Casa on Facebook and Twitter. Casa Italian Restaurants, a proud sponsor of WCYT Sports Broadcasts.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard, next to Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin-Robbins. You can contact Moe's by calling 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in Southwestern foods like burritos, tacos, and nachos with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead athletic coverage on our station.
And now, let's head back out to the gymnasium for more Homestead Lady Spartan basketball right here on the Point 91 FM.
We're just about set for the start of the third quarter between Homestead and Noblesville. Homestead leads 25-22 in this girls' basketball matchup. I'm Matt Suffering alongside Braden Carroll and Ashton Hackman, who talked to Luke Goody at halftime expecting a win, as he should, against Marion tonight. But third quarter of action just started. Noblesville with the ball first. They trail by 3. It's been a defensive battle. Both teams playing well on the defensive end. But the Millers looking to potentially tie it up on this possession. Would have thought about the 3 for Noblesville. Now Ely has it in the right corner. Now Shade has it top of the key. The team's leading scorer on the season has 3 personal fouls, but she's out there right now. And a steal by Sullivan for the Spartans on the other end. Sullivan, ball knocked away on the ground. And another jump ball, it looks like, was called. I believe that's something like the 4th jump ball called this game. And it'll stay with the Spartans. They lead 25-22, 7:24 to go in the third quarter. Sullivan inbounds to Patterson underneath her own basket and puts up a shot and scores. Ayanna Patterson now with 7 points in this game for Homestead in her second game back since injury. At 25 last night against Carroll. Shade underneath the basket for Noblesville. Mid-range jump shot is good. Oddly enough, that's only her second basket of the game. Homestead doing a good job of limiting her on the offensive end. It's 27-24. Homestead, 6:56 to go in the third quarter. Sullivan has it. Gets it to Graber now. Immediately back to Sullivan, over to Graber. Wants to find Parker in the left corner. Can back to Graber. Drives inside. And it's stolen away by the Millers. Noblesville has it on the offensive end. Shade takes it up the court. Ball knocked out of bounds by Sydney Graber. It'll stay with Noblesville. They trail by 3. It's 27-24 Homestead, 6:33 to go in the third quarter. And Noblesville, it's the inbound to Abby Haley, who leads the team in assists and turnovers. Over to Wood now on the left side, back to Shade. Team's leader in points, rebounds, and steals. Over to Ely now, who throws it down low to Wood. Fadeaway jump shot. No good. Nice defense by Amber Austin. And the Spartans get the defensive rebound. Graber on the other end throws the alley-oop to Patterson underneath the basket, puts up the shot, and they call an offensive foul. Not sure about that call, but it was going against Patterson. Must have pushed off. That was her third personal foul. So she has 3. Amber Austin has 3. A lot of players in foul trouble for the Spartans. Noblesville, they have 2 players on the court with 3 fouls as well, and Ashlyn Shade and Emily Wood. Still a 3-point Spartan lead, under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter now. Wood has it top of the key, gets it over to Ely beyond the arc. It's been somewhat of a low-scoring game compared to both these team standards, more Homestead. Shade picks up her dribble, throws it to Wood, mid-range jump shot, no good. Rebound goes to Patterson for the Spartans, who has 3 personal fouls in this one. Patterson, other end of the court. All right, good, a defensive foul. That would have been huge if it went against Patterson. Would have been her 4th, but it's called against Noblesville. No shot, they call. In Noblesville, the foul is against Mallory Miller, only her 2nd personal foul. As Patterson checks out, as Megan Yoder checks in for Homestead. It's still 27-24 Spartans. 5.5 to go in the third quarter. Amber Austin underneath the basket, throws up a shot, no good. And the rebound actually is knocked out of bounds and goes to Homestead. It'll be Spartans ball underneath their own basket. They lead by 3. Not a whole lot of scoring in the first 2.5 minutes or so this third quarter. Yoder now with it for the Spartans beyond the arc. Over to Sullivan now. Homestead leads 27-24, 5:19 to go in the third quarter. Homestead 6-0 on the season. Noblesville 3-6. A 3 by Parker in the right corner. It's good. Riley Parker makes it a 6-point Spartan lead now. Parker hit 2 threes in this game, 6 points for the senior. 30-24 Homestead, 5 minutes to go in the third. A 3, that was by Abby Haley, is good, so she responds to the Parker 3. It's 30-27 Homestead now. 4:52 to go in the third quarter. This game has been back and forth the entire way, pretty much the opposite of last night. Graber underneath the basket, puts up a shot, and she scores. Sydney Graber scores in the paint. She now has 12 for Homestead. It's 32-27 Homestead, 4:35 to go in the third quarter. Nobles are looking to respond once again, and ball was nearly stolen by Graber. Actually called a jump ball. Graber got a hand on the ball and able to force the jump ball, but it'll stay with Noblesville. You have a few sub in as Danny Mendez in for Emily Wood. For Noblesville, the Millers inbound to get it to Shade. A 3 right away, that's no good. And the rebound recovered by Graber for Homestead. They lead by 5, 4:22 to go in the third quarter. Yoder throws to Graber. Wasn't ready for the pass, but it stays with the Spartans. Homestead on offense, they lead by 5. 4:10 to go in the third quarter. Parker, another 3 in the left corner. It's good! Back-to-back 3s for Riley Parker. And a timeout called by Donna Buckley for Noblesville. So Parker heating up now is 9 points in this game. Hit 2 threes in this quarter alone, and Homestead starting to separate themselves from Noblesville a bit, lead by 8 now.
Yeah, those 2 threes were absolutely huge, because now it's an 8-point lead instead of what could have been a 2-point lead or 4-point lead. It's very nice for Parker to get out there, make some 3-pointers, increase the separation between these two teams, which is something that Homestead desperately needed to do heading into the second half.
So Parker now with 9 points for the Spartans. Sydney Graber has 12. Patterson on the bench for the Spartans with 3 personal fouls. Amber Austin on the court for Homestead with 3 personal fouls as well. Ashlyn Shade on the court for Noblesville with 3 personal fouls. So a lot of players in foul trouble. Didn't really see anyone get in foul trouble last night, I guess. Didn't really matter a whole lot. That is for Homestead. They beat Carroll 67-29. Carroll, they're playing Northridge today. See if I can get another score update for you in that game. But right now, it's Noblesville ball. So Carroll leads 26-24 over Northridge at half. Noblesville inbounds. They trail by 8 now, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. 35-27 Homestead. Miller on the offensive end. Haley Toplicky throws it over to Ely on the right side. Back to Mendez. Bounce pass nearly stolen by Sullivan. No travel was called and rejected by Amber Austin again. Another block by the junior. And Austin able to draw the foul going against Noblesville. So Amber Austin only averages 6.6 points per game, but leads the team in blocks per game. They get a huge impact on the defensive end. And the foul committed on Danny Mendez. That was her third personal foul for Noblesville. Millers have 2 players out there with 3 personal fouls. Homestead 1 team foul and Noblesville 2 this second half. Homestead on offense. Yoder gets it to Amber Austin. Foul going against Noblesville again. That'll be the third team foul. Wow, Danny Mendez picks up the foul. It's her 4th. So she gets out of the game. She's going to the bench. 35-27 Homestead, 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Sullivan set to inbound for the Spartans. Eventually finds Yoder to the top of the key, who finds Austin. Back to Sullivan on the left side. Finds Graber. It's actually intercepted and stolen away. On the other end, Haley has it for the Millers. Cross-court pass in the right corner. A 3 by Miller. It's no good. Rebound goes to Graber for the Spartans, and a foul. Again, it's going the other way. Committed by Noblesville. And the 4th team foul on the Millers, the 3rd personal foul on Mallory Miller. So Homestead ball. They lead by 8. No one has scored the past few minutes. 35-27 Homestead, 3:02 to go in the third quarter. Yoder gets it to Austin. Top of the arc, over Yoder, takes a 3. Oh, nearly banked it in, but no good, and the rebound goes to Noblesville. 3-6 on the season, but playing well right now. And Miller has it, who gets it over to Shade, who has 3 personal fouls. Averages 17 points per game, but the Millers need her on the court if they want to win. Haley drives in, throws up a shot, no foul is drawn. And Sydney Graber gets the rebound for Homestead. Yoder wants to push it for the Spartans. Homestead up by 8, 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, 35-27. Sullivan had a wide open shot in the third quarter, but the ball was deflected, couldn't get it to her in time. But Homestead still recovers. Graber throws up a shot in the paint and one. Sydney Graber goes to the ground, but able to make the shot and go to the line for 1 free throw chance for an and 1 again. She now has 14 points for the Spartans. Molly Stocks had to check in. And that foul was committed by Mallory Miller, her 4th personal foul for Noblesville. They have 5 team fouls, and Homestead only has 1. So Graber with a chance to complete the and 1. And it's good. So Sydney Graber now with 15 points for the Spartans. Graber actually has 0 personal fouls, so she'll probably stay out there the rest of the game. Noblesville on offense, they now trail by 11. They led by 3 after the first quarter. Then Homestead led by 3 at half, but it's been all Homestead in this third quarter. 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Homestead up 38-27, Noblesville on offense. Mundy has it, who just checked in. A lot of players in foul trouble, so we might see a lot of players that we haven't seen so far. And the turnover on Noblesville going to Homestead. Stocks at the inbound for the Spartans to Sullivan. Homestead leads 38-27, 1:48 to go in the third quarter. Sydney Graber has 15 for the Spartans, put up 23 last night against Carroll. Anna Patterson had 25, but she's in a bit of foul trouble on the bench right now. Parker, another 3 in the left corner. That's no good. Parker hit a couple 3s in this third quarter to extend the Spartans' lead, but off the mark right there. As Noblesville gets the rebound, and on the other end now, they trail by 11, 1:26 to go in the third quarter. Shade has the ball on the ground. Another jump ball called. Goes to Homestead. This might be the game with a record-breaking amount of jump balls, it feels like. Stocks at the inbound for the Spartans. Homestead in the full court. Noblesville not doing a full court press anymore. Looks like, not even sure, a 2-1-2 zone defense. or 3-2. Parker a three in the left corner. It's good! Riley Parker, another three. That was her fourth three of the game. She now has 12 for the Spartans. Homestead extends their lead to 14 points. On the other end, Noblesville, that was Haley throws up a shot. Rebound goes to Amber Austin for Homestead. They're up 41-27, 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Graber fakes the three, drives baseline, lays it in. Homestead up by 16, and just like that, the Spartans starting to pull away in this one. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Sydney Graber now with 17 points for Homestead. Foul going against Molly Stock. Her second personal foul. The team's, looks like the team's second. Noblesville has 5 team fouls. Miller's down by 16, 30 seconds to go in this third quarter. Shade gets it over to Haley. With team down by 16, ball on the ground. Noblesville still with it, they recover Shade. The team's leading scorer has been limited in this one, and a foul committed against the Homestead Spartans. Sydney Graber only her first personal foul, so not really worried about her in foul trouble. The team's third, but Kinsley checks in for Amber Austin, who has 3 personal fouls. It'll be Noblesville ball under their own basket, 16.3 seconds to go. They trail 43-27 in the third quarter. Shade has it in the right corner down to 14 seconds. Cross-court pass over to Mundy, who gives it back to Shade. Now Haley top of the key. Right side for Wood. Down to 4 seconds. Shade, mid-range jump shot. It's good on the baseline. And that will end the third quarter. Homestead, they lead 43-29, but Noblesville able to make a basket right there. But still, the Spartans have played great in this third quarter, and it feels like they're starting to pull away.
Yeah, Riley Parker, like I said earlier, those three-pointers that she's hitting are really making an impact on helping the Spartans pull away. She had 3 in the third quarter. That really made a significant blow to the Millers' defense. Meanwhile, Homestead's defense has just continued to rock the Millers a lot. There's been 5 jump balls in this game so far, either 5 or 6. I've lost count. Normally you don't lose count of jump balls, but I have. And there haven't been many turnovers by either team. Both teams are at less than 10 turnovers, so it's definitely been a defensive battle so far.
Yeah, both teams playing well, but feels like Homestead's starting to pull away. It took them a little while, but 14 points. Definitely not out of the question for Noblesville to come back in this one. Still 8 minutes in the clock and the start of the fourth quarter, but Homestead leads 43-29. 29 the amount of points that the Carroll defense scored against Homestead in 4 quarters. Noblesville scored that in 3 quarters. Homestead up by 14 heading into the final quarter of regulation. Looks like Ayanna Patterson back on the court for the Spartans. Her in this second game back since her injury. November 14th was out for about 3 weeks. Had 25 points against Carroll last night. She's played well in this one so far. Noblesville ball to start the fourth quarter. They trail by 14. In need of a basket soon. Wood has it. Gives it over to Shade. Top of the key. Tries to find a teammate underneath the basket. Thrown away and goes to Homestead. So another turnover on the Millers. Homestead ball. They lead 43-29. 7:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Patterson with the ball for the Spartans. Crosses half court. Ball deflected. And a turnover on Homestead. Goes to Noblesville. They trail by 14. On the right side, that is Mundy, who passes back to Shade. A 3, guarded by Parker. Off the front of the rim. Nearly rolled in, but no good. And Sullivan with the rebound for the Spartans. Over to Parker. Pass to Patterson. Underneath the basket. Scores in transition. That's what this Homestead team is so good. And Patterson scores another basket right there. 45-29, Homestead leads a 16-point margin right now in favor of the 4th-ranked team in Class 4A, Homestead Spartans. 45-29, 6:57 to go in the fourth quarter. Noblesville in need of a basket soon. A 3 by Shade, no good. And the offensive rebound goes to Emily Wood. Shade gets it back. Cross-court pass to her teammate Mundy, shot no good. And rebound goes to Graber for Homestead. Sullivan wants to push it. Can't find anyone. still with the ball. Picks up a dribble over to Parker. Homestead up 45-29, 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Graber, reverse layup, no good. A nice move, but not able to finish. A jump ball called. Few subs in for Noblesville. Homestead with their starters on the court. Sullivan, Parker, Graber, Patterson, and Amber Austin. 45-29, Homestead leads. 6:25 to go in the fourth quarter. Homestead's pulled away in the third quarter. Sullivan gets it in to Austin. Back to Sullivan, who takes it back out near the Spartan logo at midcourt. Graber now with it on the left side over to Parker. Gets it back to Graber, over to Sullivan now. Homestead up by 16, 6:12 to go in the fourth quarter. Sullivan gets it to Patterson, the free throw line. Puts up a shot, and it rolls in. Ayanna Patterson with another basket for the Spartans, and another timeout called by Donna Buckley, head coach of the Noblesville Millers. And right now, feels like Homestead is pulling away like they did a lot last season, and right now they lead 47-29, 6:01 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, typically this season we see teams that Homestead plays, and usually it's over by the first quarter, but today it seems to be over heading into the second half. Homestead's defense has just been one step ahead of Noblesville's defense, unlike what we saw in the first, and that's really been the main factor that's helped Homestead to gain the lead that they have right now over the Millers.
So Homestead starting to pull away. It's been a great game from Sydney Graber, who has 17. Riley Parker bounced back nicely, has 12. 4 3-pointers, did not score last night against Carroll, but didn't take a whole lot of shots either. It'll be Noblesville ball out of the timeout. 47-29 Homestead, 5:59 to go in the fourth quarter. Noblesville on offense, Shade with the ball, the team's leading scorer, has 8 in this one. Shade passes over to Miller on the right side. Back to Shade, top the key. Wood with it, over to Miller. Noblesville taking about 25 seconds of this possession so far. Nice fadeaway shot by Wood. Looks like that was her first points of the game for Emily Wood. For Noblesville, it's now a 16-point game. Homestead lead. 47-31, 5:22 to go in the fourth quarter. Homestead ball. Patterson underneath the basket, throws up a shot and good. Patterson almost automatic underneath the basket since her return, making almost every single shot. Looks like she has 13 now for the Spartans. And a 3 by Shade is off the mark and no good by Noblesville. Homestead up by 18, 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Sullivan gets to Amber Austin underneath the basket, and they call it a travel. Thought she might have been able to either call a jump ball or she drew a foul, but a traveling violation on the Spartans. Noblesville with a chance to cut into the Homestead 18-point lead. It's 49-31 Spartans, 4:49 to go in the fourth quarter. Foul on the ground against Homestead. Riley Parker, her second. The team's fourth. 49-31 Homestead, 4:48 to go in the fourth quarter. And Ely gets it in to Shade. Bounce pass to Mundy. Back to Shade, takes a 3, top of the key. It's good. Went straight in, a nice looking shot right there, but it's still a 15-point Homestead lead. 4.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Noblesville now doing a full court press. Patterson along the baseline. Back to Sullivan, top of the key, Graber. Nice move, throws up a wild shot. It's no good, and the rebound on the ground. Maybe another jump ball. Yep, another jump ball. These refs like to call a lot of jump balls. 49-34 Homestead, 4:14 to go in the fourth quarter. It'll be Noblesville ball. In need of some points in a hurry. They want to come back in this one. Noblesville on offense, trailed by 15, 4:03 to go in the fourth quarter. 49-34 Homestead. Looking to improve to 7-0 on the season. Their next game against Bishop Dwenger next Friday at 6 o'clock, the first boys-girls SAC doubleheader of the season. A 3 by Noblesville that was deflected by Graber. Graber on the other end of the court for the Spartans. In the paint, throws up a shot, and she is blocked. And the foul is called against Noblesville. So it looks like Graber going to the line. Foul called on Abby Haley. Surprisingly, her first personal foul. One of the players without. Feels like 3+ fouls. 49-34 Homestead. 3:41 to go in the fourth quarter. Graber's first free throw is good. So she now has 18 points. Good game from her. She bounced back nicely last night, scoring 23 after scoring 11. Season low against Huntington North Tuesday before Thanksgiving. The senior's at the line for her second free throw. Homestead up by 16 and now 17. Point lead for the Spartans. Graber now with 19 points, the amount that she scored in the first half last night against Carroll. 51-34 Homestead, 2:36 to go in the fourth quarter. Looks like the ball is stolen by the Spartans, and Coach Rod Parker able to get a timeout out. So 51-34 Homestead, 3:32 to go in the fourth quarter. And does Noblesville have any chance of coming back, do you think?
I don't think they have any chance. The Homestead defense is just too powerful to allow Noblesville to score 17+ points that they'll need to send this bad boy into overtime. I don't think they have a shot to get this game close again or have a shot to send this one into extra time.
So Homestead the 17-point lead right now. The boys play later tonight in about 4 hours or so against Marion at home, the home opener. We'll have the broadcast for that one. Video broadcast will be available as well. Well, this Homestead girls team ranked 4th in Class 4A, leading by 17 over Noblesville, team 3-6 on the season. It was close at the start and pulling away now. The clock didn't start. 3:29 in the fourth, 51-34 in favor of Homestead, the home team. Homestead on a 6-game winning streak. Sullivan over to Amber Austin. Patterson underneath the basket, puts up a shot, and a rare miss for Patterson underneath the basket. She's made a lot of those, but Noblesville some tough defense right there. Deep 2-point shot by Shade, no good. And the rebound goes to Patterson for the Spartans. 3:05 to go in the fourth quarter. And it feels like the Spartans may have put the finishing touches in this one. 51-34, 17-point lead, under 3 minutes to go now. Some very tough Noblesville defense, but Homestead still looking very good. Wide open Parker, left corner for 3. That's no good. That definitely would have put the finishing touches, and Graber put back is no good, so the rebound goes to Noblesville. Got to score this possession if they want any chance. It's Shoemaker, who's not played much in this one. This is a Shade, top of the key. She had 3 personal fouls in the first half and has not picked up another one since. As it looks like Mallory Miller, the 5'6" junior guard, drives in, draws the foul. Shot was no good. Sullivan's first personal foul. Homestead 5 team fouls, Noblesville 6. Mallory Miller with 2 at the line for the Spartans. First was no good. If you're Noblesville, you got to make those free throws if you want any chance of coming back in this one. Second free throw is good. So Mallory Miller 1 of the 2 at the line there. She has 10 now. Amber Austin goes to the bench as Megan Yoder comes in for Homestead. It's Yoder, Sullivan, Patterson, Graber, and Parker out in the court for the Spartans. They lead by 16. 2:17 to go in the fourth quarter. Graber, nice move to the basket. Shot was no good. Patterson, the offensive rebound, and it's good. Ayanna Patterson, another basket, and another timeout by Donna Buckley. I'm sure she's upset with how the team has played this second half. They led by 3 over Homestead in the first quarter. They trailed by 3 at halftime, and right now Homestead an 18-point lead. 2:08 to go in the fourth quarter. Homestead, they've just pulled away in this second half.
Yeah, Noblesville's defense have gotten less aggressive as more players get into foul trouble. You know, they're staying off. They're making sure that they don't get another foul. Players like Miller, who have 4 fouls and are just trying to stay away from their 5th. Mendez also had her 4th foul. So there are a lot of players on Noblesville that aren't going to push the effort as hard on defense, and it's definitely had its effect into this second half.
Yeah, so Homestead playing a lot better in the second half. The offense starting to pick up. The defense for Homestead playing well. in the second half. 2:08 to go. Homestead up 53-35. Graber's 19 and Patterson with 15 for Homestead. Parker also has 12 for the Spartans and 4 3-pointers. Noblesville ball. 2:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Shade with it. Gets it over to Haley. Now back to Shade. Cross-court pass on the left side for Miller. Back to Shoemaker. Over to Wood now on the right side. Ball on the ground. Spartans having a jump ball. Another jump ball. I wonder what the record is for the most jump balls in the game. I'm not sure they keep that as a stat, but feels like there's been a lot in this game. 53-35. Homestead leads. 1:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Homestead ball. Gonna hold on to win this one. Like I mentioned, they play next against Bishop Dwenger Friday at 6. Patterson scores underneath the basket. Ayana now with 17. Had 25 last night, 17 tonight. Sydney Graber, 23 tonight, 19 tonight. Or I guess today. Still the afternoon. Shot no good by Noblesville. 1:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Graber gets it over to Sullivan. Looks like the Spartans emptying their bench. Graber left corner, 3. No good, and the rebound goes to Noblesville. Minute to go in regulation. Homestead up 55-35. And the shot is scored by Abby Haley. She has 12 now for the Millers. 46 seconds to go. Traveling violation called. A lot of bench players check in. Megan Helmkamp, Molly Stock, Maggie Kinsley, Megan Yoder, and Allison Stevens. So all bench players for Homestead out in the court. 43 seconds to go. This one about over. Homestead played well in the second half. Kinsley on the right corner, back to Yoder. Bounce pass to Stock. 35 seconds to go. Helmkamp with it. Noblesville, a lot of their starters still out there. Stock traveling, called on her. 55-37, 27.3 seconds to go in regulation. Spartans going to hold on to win this one. They trailed by 3. Somewhat of a surprise at the end of the first quarter. 18-15, but since then outscored them by quite a bit. A 3 for Shade off the front of the rim. And the offensive rebound goes to Noblesville down to 12 seconds. Shade another 3, why not? That's also no good. Kinsley the rebound for Homestead. 6 seconds to go, and time's going to run out. It's Homestead. They're going to get the 55-37 win. A nice performance for this Homestead team with the 18-point win as Homestead improves to 7-0 on the season. A great performance from these Spartans. Once again, the 55-37 win. Sydney Graber with 19. Ayana Patterson with 17 points. Homestead, they're in action next at Friday, Bishop Dwenger, 6 p.m. boys-girls doubleheader. And let's send it over to Ashton Hackman, who's with Sydney Graber.
All right, thank you, Matt. I'm joined with the 6-foot Central Michigan commit, Sydney Graber. And the first half was a bit of a rough start, plenty of fouls and turnovers. A quick turnaround from yesterday's game. Did that have an effect today?
I just think at the beginning of the game we really struggled with our ball movement. We get one pass and then a shot, and shots like that, it's just really tough to finish. So, in the second half we really moved the ball a lot better, and that's when we got all our points. So it really worked out for us.
You guys were a whole new team. What was the conversation like with Coach Parker at the end of the first half?
We got cussed out a little bit. We got yelled at, and it really woke us up. So, kudos to him. We really were playing selfish basketball, me included. I wasn't looking at the extra pass. I was doing dumb shots. So he woke us up a little bit, and the ball just moved great the second half.
After several weeks out with a knee injury, Ayana Patterson is back. She put up 25 last night, 17 tonight. What's it like having her back out here on the court?
Yeah, it helps a lot, especially for a versatility aspect of the game. Having her big presence in there, it just opens up the floor so much. Riley got a lot of shots today just because she creates so much attention in the paint. So having her there, it just opens things up.
I mean, you guys have a week break until next Friday when you take on Dwenger. What do you guys got to work on?
I think we just have to continue working on ball movement team chemistry, hitting shots, finishing through contact, and free throws. So, I mean, just working hard and, just establishing our presence.
All right, thank you. So, Matt, obviously they have to work on, passing, not being all selfish all the time. So, Matt, back to you.
Yeah, I think that's right. Sydney Graber, they were a little bit selfish in the first half. The ball movement wasn't great, but they pulled away in the second half. That's what good teams do. So Homestead gets the 18-point win over Noblesville. That's somewhat important because Northwestern beat them by 19 and Lawrence North beat them by 23. So if you're basing how good Homestead is based on their margin of victory against teams such as those that I just mentioned, and the Hamilton Southeastern beat them by 19, Homestead's right there in the conversation with the top teams in the state. Once again, the Spartans pull up the 18-point win. And Braden, who's your player of the halves?
Well, we already said my first half player of the half is Sydney Graber, and my second half player of the half is going to be Riley Parker because she hit some very crucial threes that really pulled Homestead away, that tired out Noblesville's defense and really boosted Homestead's morale, that allowed them to continue the effort on offense. So she's definitely going to be my second half player of the half.
Yeah, sounds good. Sydney Graber and Anna Patterson combining for, looks like 36 points. The team's 55, so another great performance from the Spartans, and Homestead off until next Friday when they take on Bishop Dwenger. And before we leave, we want to give a quick thanks to some of our sponsors, including Casa Ristorante, Moe's Southwest Grill, Arby's at Coventry, and Marco's Pizza, Illinois and Scott Road. We also want to give a very special thanks to our board operators and Mr. Andy Dunn back in the studio for their off-site producing, along with on-site producer Mr. Adam Schenkel for taking care of the arena technology. Once again, your final score is Homestead 55, Noblesville 37. For Braden Carroll and Ashton Hackman, I'm Matt Saalfrank. Thank you for listening to another presentation of Homestead Spartan basketball on the Point 91 FM. Don't go anywhere, as around 7:30 later tonight we will be broadcasting the Homestead boys basketball home opener against the Marion Giants. Signing off from Homestead High School, we will see you in a few hours.